Right, so it's basic beer review time again, and we are back over in Belgium, and we have got a doozy today, let me tell you. We have got a bottle of the Trappistes Rochefort 8 to sample today. One of the big hitters in the Belgian beer world. It's already taken off the top. Oh, and it's lively. Let's just let a little bit out. Ooh, I think that's, there we go. Let a little bit out because we don't want any spillage with a beer this fine. So, what can we say? Well, you know, obviously it's a beer I've had before. It's one of the great ones. It's Trappistes Rochefort 8. Not had it for a while. It'd be interesting to see what it tastes like. There's the bottle cap. Lovely bottle cap with the 8 on there. Just whack it over there. Get that out of the way. Nice and excited. Got this recently. It was about £5 something a bottle, which it's not bad nowadays, considering beer prices of really fine beers. And it's made in Belgium. It's an authentic Trappist product. I say there's not many breweries that are allowed to use that symbol there, showing that it is still brewed by Trappist monks, which I think is what it's saying. And it is one of the, there's not many Trappist breweries left in the world, and this is one of them, basically. Let's see. So, as I've seen, made in Belgium. What else does it say about it? It is 9.2% ABV. It reckons it should be served between 12 and 14 degrees C. This is a little bit colder than that. This has been out of the fridge for a little bit of time, but not enough really to do it too much justice. But we'll just leave it in the glass for a little bit there. So there we go. It's poured. It's a relatively thin head, a little bit fluffy. Looks quite nice. We'll just go to about there with it. And what can we say about this beer? I mean, it's Rochefort. It's one of the big, it's one of the really great breweries. It's from the Abbaye ND de Saint Remy, whatever. I think in Rochefort. Is Rochefort a place in Belgium? I don't know, actually. I've had this beer many times and I don't actually know whether Rochefort is a place. But as I say, it's a 330ml bottle, 9.2% ABV. It cost me about £5 something. And if you look, that head always sort of goes down to kind of like a wispy kind of thin head there. Colour, you're getting a kind of a murky brown colour, almost like a pond water colour, which sounds minging, but it's not. It's I'm already trying to nose it. It's not. It's just, that's the colour it comes, and it's got quite a unique flavour profile, these Rochefort beers, and quite a unique nose profile. Always very spicy on the nose and on the palate. Really can't wait to drink this. Not had a Rochefort beer for a while. I've had the Rochefort 6 a few times. Not had the 8 or the 10 for a while, so it'd be nice to have another go on the 8. So let's get a nose. So let's see what kind of nose. Not the best glass for nosing this, but it is my Rochefort glass. So I thought I've got to use that for a Rochefort beer. I know there is another one. There's more of a kind of deeper kind of glass that they do. Wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of them, actually. Not a big fan of this glass, to be honest. It's a bit too wide and shallow. Anyway, let's get a smell. So straight away we're getting that spice. We're getting them kind of. It's hard to describe it, but I mean we're getting the dark, like the sour cherry in there. You're getting a little bit of chocolate, a bit of smoke, a little bit of honey. I think it's that kind of sweet. There's like kind of sweet spiciness to it, which makes you know when you're drinking a Rochefort. It's more in the taste than it is the smell. But as I say, kind of warm this up a little bit. I mean, as I drink this, and it'll warm up a little bit more. It'll be a little bit more of the temperature it should be. Should have left this out of the fridge a little bit longer, really, but I just couldn't wait to drink it. I mean, it's good. It's good cold, to be honest, this, really. But 12 degrees to 14 degrees is the optimal temperature. I'd call that cellar temperature, really. Get it straight out of the garage. It'll be generally that temperature, unless it's the middle of summer. But I say this is already warming up a little bit. I'm going to let it warm up a little bit more before I get it in the old mouth. Yeah, a little bit of like icing sugar kind of sweetness there as well. Bit of Christmas cake. A bit of like the kind of spice you get in like a Belgian bun, that kind of thing. Those kind of, I suppose probably a bit of cinnamon in there. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of cinnamon in there. Smells so good. Smells absolutely delightful. Of course, the proof will be in the tasting, and I will just warm it up in my hands a little bit more. I mean, it seems like sacrilege this to warm it up in your hands, but I don't want to have it too cold. I made the mistake of just starting this video with it not too long out of the fridge, and we want to do this beer justice by having it as close to the optimal temperature as we can. Yeah, so we're getting, I'd say it's the high end of the kind of, I don't know, that kind of chocolatey thing. It's not your really strong bitter dark chocolate. I wouldn't say there's any coffee in there, certainly not, you know, that kind of roasted taste. I'd say it's up there with in the slightly more floral category of smells. Anyway, I cannot wait to taste it any longer. So I'm going to have a go on this now. It's warmed itself up a bit now, so let's have a see what it tastes like. Here we go. Cheers. Yeah, so straight away you're getting that kind of spiciness you get from a Rochefort. It's got medium carbonation. It's not incredibly smooth, but it's kind of like, well, it is smooth. It's smooth, but it's vibrant. Lovely warming in the mouth. Not very bitter. A little bit creamy in the taste there. We're getting more of that flavour, more of those kind of those dark cherry notes and those kind of Christmas cake spices. It's a little bit more bubbly than I remember it, but I think that might be because it's quite cold. Let's pour a little bit more in there. It really is something else. It is so delicious. It's got a lovely aftertaste. Lovely aftertaste of those kind of Christmas cakey spices, of dark fruits. You're getting the raisins. Raisins, cherry, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of smoke. If you let it sit on the sides of your tongue a bit, it's you get a bit of the bitterness coming through. It's really complex though. Every sip I'm taking, I'm getting a little something different from it. Okay, there's a little bit of syrup in there, I'd say. Bit of maltiness. I mean, it is incredibly pleasant to drink. I mean, it is a sipper. Yeah, I mean, you could well down this, to be honest. It's very, very easy to drink. But it is kind of a sipper. It does improve as it gets a bit warmer. It's improving now. I've not really done it justice with the temperature I've poured it at. I won't lie. I know this is going to be even better when it's warmed up a little bit. And certainly for £5.50 it is something else. It's really good. It's such good value for money for that. You're definitely getting your money's worth. I know there are other places where you'll be able to get it cheaper. There might be places where you pay a little bit extra for it. But at the end of the day, you're still going to get a good deal. I say I'm still tasting it now. I love the long finish, and you're getting a really long finish on it. And I say I'm still tasting that. I've probably drank this quite quickly just because I like it so much. But to be honest, you know, if you just sit there and just let it just stay there, because it's still there. Still there. The taste is still there. You want to really take this slowly. You want to savour it because you can do, and it'll last you longer. And the flavour is already opening up. It's getting so much nicer. Might just stay on this for a little bit longer, just to pull a few more of those flavours out as the beer warms up a bit. Okay, let's finish it off. Let's top it off. Let's get the rest of that in there. I know some people think that get it all in there, get the lot in there. I know there's some people, some purists, still say, oh, you've got to leave the bottom bit. You know, you don't pour the bottom bit in. I've not really noticed much of a difference depending on whether you pour the whole lot in, or whether you leave some in the bottle. So I'm pouring the whole lot in. To be honest, there doesn't appear to be much in the line of sediment or anything that's gone into that glass anyway. And at the end of the day, I paid for it all, so I'm going to drink it all. That's the way I see it. But yeah, that's warming. That's warming up a bit. They're getting so many more of those fruity flavours in there. The dark fruits, the raisins, the cherry. The cinnamon, the chocolate, the syrup, the malt. It's just absolutely amazing. It's really, really nice beer. Really brilliant beer. I would recommend it to anybody, but I think if you're watching this video, you already know what a great beer the Rochefort ones are. Hopefully get a review of the Rochefort 10 sometime. When I next see a bottle of Rochefort 10, I will get one in. I'll do a review of that on the channel as well. At one point, this was my favourite beer of all time, even above the 10, because I just felt it was a little bit more kind of drinkable, a little bit better for different occasions. But let's have a see. We'll see what the 10's like when I review that. But I'm just going to finish the rest of this because it is so great. So that's all there is to it. Cracking beer, cracking price. Until next time, have a good one.